All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our podcast. Please, please, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button and follow us on all social media platforms at Get It From My Mama. Oh, all right. What we talking about today, Miss Squirrel?
We are going to talk about race in America.
Dun dun dun. That's what it feel like.
Do 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 do.
Feel like such a touchy topic.
Very touchy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2026. How do you feel about race in America right now? Any racial tension you're feeling right
there's
now?
always racial tension, especially with like the crimes and things going on. It feels a little racial, but it always feels like that.
Does it feel scary?
Not honestly, not so much. So you remember like back in 2016 during that climate, the George Floyd climate, and I did feel scary during that time. But now 2026, I mean, dealing with what we dealing with, it should feel scary, but it doesn't. It feels
George Floyd was 2020, right?
No, I thought that was 2016.
Okay.
2020 was COVID. Man.
Yeah, I thought that was around that time.
It was like literally when I got to college. That's when all that happened.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I thought that was like
I'm pretty sure that was 2016. But I don't think scary. It's annoying because it feels like we're going through the same thing.
George Floyd was 2020.
You sure?
You talking about that man who died in Baton Rouge?
That was George Floyd. George Floyd passed in Baton Rouge.
George Floyd was the neck.
Oh wait! I am. God. Wait, what's the BR man name though? He was important too.
He was important, but I just
apologies.
Yeah,
it's too many mass. You know what I'm saying? It's too much going on. They all blending together. So, what was the BR man name?
His name was
Bryce. No, Alton Sterling.
There you go.
Okay, my apologies, Alton, and my apologies, George. Both you guys were equally important, but that's what I'm talking about. That Alton Sterling stuff during that time.
That was in 2016.
I was a bit scared.
All right, that was Baton Rouge. Okay,
Yes.
2020
was
George Floyd.
My apologies.
So 2026, the question was, does it feel scary?
I don't think not as scary as it was during them times, truthfully. But yes, it is a little scary, but not as scary. But like I said, I feel like it's more like familiar. Like we kind of know what we're dealing with.
I'm not going to say that. It will never feel familiar.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not like in 2016 and 2020, that was like first for me. Like, being a conscious adult and like really realizing what race is and like what's actually going on. So now it's just kind of just feeling like we still doing this. This is what we still doing. That's why I say I'm more annoyed than anything, aggravated.
So the discussion comes up a lot when people say, why do you always have to pull the race card?
Because it's always about race. It quite literally, the underlying thing is always about race.
Why?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not racist, so I have no clue. Why?
You don't have to be racist to know that it pretty much is all about race. So having this conversation with young people happens a lot because they're always the ones who say, you guys always want to pull the race card. And I think that's because they don't have enough history. They don't have enough context because they don't understand what people have gone through here in America.
Correct.
So we already know slavery is number one. So,
and they don't even want us to talk about slavery as if it's just kick that under the rug.
Right.
Like that happened.
Right. And that's systemic. So that's a whole system of things that have consistently happened here in America.
Correct.
So even
specifically against minority groups.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So when you're saying why you always have to pull a race card, it's because that's pretty much how America has been set up.
Correct.
So even if we talk about housing, you have to understand that in the 20s and 30s, when it was time for Black people to get housing, It was different. It
Mm-hmm.
was racism. So a lot of times they wouldn't even allow them to even go into certain areas. They wouldn't even give them loans to go in those areas. Going back to housing discrimination. So in the 30s and 50s, white people could go and get a house.
No
Real
problem.
estate agents would take them to areas, the banks would give them loans. That didn't apply for black people. They wouldn't even give them loans.
Right.
Okay. They couldn't even go into certain areas because they would only steer them into areas where they didn't even want to stay. So, quite naturally, what had to happen? They had to have
I'm sure they had to enact some
the Fair
acts. Yeah,
Housing
so
Act,
we
you
can
already know, of
also get housing.
1968, that was there to stop you from
Discriminating against
discriminating
people.
against
Yeah.
people just wanting to have housing to raise their family. So remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that is in the White House right now, quite naturally, him and his dad, they were accused of defying this order and discriminating. And it makes sense because it still happens today. Certain neighborhoods you don't want people in, all right? They're going to steer you away. It's times when black people have put their houses on the market and they're trying to get a fair price for their houses, and inspectors come in and they'll try to lowball them because of their color. It's time when people are coming in to see a house and they got to take their pictures down, because if people see their pictures, then they gonna try to do
Lowball them.
they're
Yeah.
gonna lowball them. So you have to keep all of that in mind when you're asking, why do we play, why do people always play the race card? Because that is what America has been built on. Systemic racism and discrimination exists. That's pretty much what it is. So it's a lot of things. We have two different America. Do you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
So we have two different Americas, certain things that we just cannot do.
Based off of skin color, which is so stupid to me.
Why you say that?
Skin color is what is deterring you from letting me get a house. You don't know my person. You don't even know who I am, but my skin color.
But
That's it.
It's the fear of, black people have always been looked at as being like, boogeymen. They're suspicious, they're dangerous, they're criminals, they're to be feared. And that is what it is when it comes to black people. Yeah, it is kind of silly in a sense.
It's extremely silly.
But this is America. So just keep that in mind. We have two different Americas. So we have to be mindful of that, especially in this internet world, the way it's set up. Correct. We have two different judicial systems, and we know this.
Totally different.
That's right. So it's very important for us to stay out of the courts and definitely stay out of jail, because certain things we just cannot do. And everybody knows this already. It's certain things we can't do. We can't roll up on the police and drag them on our truck and live. We can't do that.
Girl, please.
We can't do that.
You can barely walk up on a police officer without.
But we can see footage of other people, who are able to curse out a police and drag them on their truck, and no gun will be pulled. And we know this. And this is just the world that we have to live in. So when people say, why we always got to pull a race card, this is why, because this is real life. It's real life. So even if we're talking about current events that are happening right now in America with Carmelo Anthony and the stabbing, people are going to bring up race. So in this situation, do we have a right to pull the race card?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
Because it's easy to say it's a black and white thing, but I don't think them boys even knew each other for it to be that deep, for it to get that deep.
They did know each other.
Right. So I don't know. I don't like the villainizing of. It just makes black people seem like just overly aggressive or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when we don't know the facts.
Yes.
So it's fine, because I'm always rooting for everybody black too.
Correct.
Again, I'm always. However, I still need to know the facts of a situation. And in this case, there's a lot of stuff that's floating on the internet that is not true
or not confirmed.
It's not real, and it's not factual. And it's too easy to get the facts. get the facts. If you want to know the facts of the case, you
Look it
can look at
up.
the transcript.
Yeah.
It's public information. You can follow the trial and the case as they're going into court. You can follow along with that.
Yeah, because that's public
It
information.
is public information. So as black people, we need to understand that. Get all the facts before you start spewing judgment and then you make it a black and white thing when that's not what it is.
Correct.
And in this case, that's really not what it is. It's really not a black and white thing. At this part, it is a human thing, especially as humans, as being a mom, as being a sister. We all can relate to that. I can't imagine, my son going to a track meet. A track meet. These kids in school, it's a track meet. You going to compete, not get stabbed. So if my son went to a track meet and got stabbed to death, that's hurtful.
Yeah.
That's
It's
painful
unimaginable.
for mom and for siblings. All of that that's a lot. And black people have to be cognizant of that before you start talking about, they doing this, they trying to railroad. Make sure you pay attention to just the facts and being human, being a mother. Understand that, because it's hurtful to hear some of the stuff that people are saying and they don't even know what they talking about.
Correct.
So get the facts when we talking about race. Just understand that we have two different Americas right now.
There's also, I don't know the young man's name that recently passed from getting shot in the back from the corner store. They assumed he was stealing 4 bottles of water.
Well, that happens a lot. Okay.
You didn't hear about that?
I mean, I've lots of people have been shot in the back, especially kids. So
He was a kid. I think he was like 16. He was black, of course, and the owners were Chinese. I don't want to generalize, y'all, but yeah. And I told you he was not found guilty of murder, so they let him walk, which I feel is, of course, they're bringing race into that as well. So
is this something current, or this something happened a long time ago?
This just happened this year. Like, this was a very quick trial. This just happened.
So was he stealing water?
He was not.
Okay. Well, I don't know the facts of that case.
I have to send it to you, but no, he was
I
not
can read
stealing
about
water.
it.
But if people in the news,
What's his name?
I cannot think of his name right now.
You don't know the person's name?
I do not.
I don't know the facts of that case, so I can't speak on that. So even if the person was found not guilty, once again, we got two different Americas. That's the part y'all gotta be. Yeah, you have to understand that. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know the case, so I don't even know, what the charges was. I'm not sure about that one, so I would have to see. However, it's a lot of times we feel like people are guilty of something, but the judicial system says otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, that is America. That's pretty much, and we already know this. So a lot of times we're not shocked.
It's just a hard reality.
It is. It definitely really is. But as long as you have the facts, it's some, because this happens all the time. It's all the time store owners shoot people, especially black people. It does happen. I mean, we know with George Floyd, I mean, same thing. He was accused of using some counterfeit money. These things definitely.
But that is not a death sentence, is what I'm saying.
It never is. It never is. So sometimes they get it right. I mean, sometimes they definitely get it wrong. But we just need to understand that racism in America, it's been going on. It's systemic. It's embedded in the grains and fibers of America. So when someone says why now it's about race, it's because they haven't lived it. You got to live it.
Literally the foundation of America.
To understand it. Even with prison, right? Black Americans make up 13% of the population, but we make up 40% of the prison population. Yeah. Who's the number one incarcerator? Yeah. Who's the number one incarcerator? All of these countries in the world, who's the number one incarcerator? The United States of America. That's correct. So as long as we understand that prison is modern day slavery, we know that.
Yeah.
Racism, biasm, discrimination, it will always and continue to exist. Doesn't matter how far we think we've come. We still have so much further to go, especially now, because so many things are now being rolled back with this current administration. Yeah. So it's important for us to just understand the position that we're in right now and just pay attention. So race relations right now are already out of control.
Yeah.
So I'm saying race relations, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to chime in about?
I just wish we could I mean, we could acknowledge race and still come together. Like it doesn't have to be so hard. Just love one another. I'm so
That
tired of living
yeah,
like this, truthfully.
that's correct. If it was that easy, it would get done, but that's not what it is. Like I said, it's just embedded
Yeah.
in American culture for people to be so divided. I totally agree, but that's not what we have. It's not what we have. And we also know that we can't storm the Capitol. And we know
Absolutely not.
this. Yeah. So
Absolutely not.
as black people, certain things we already know we can't do. So when we see these things and we see them getting a pass, that's why we say, yeah, it's about race because we know we can't do that.
Never.
When the Capitol was stormed, we sat back and watched all of that, and every black person in America shook their head because we knew that is something we could never do.
And get away with it.
And get away with it.
Alive.
We could never do
Please.
it. Can't do it.
Yeah, it's a huge slap in the face too.
Mm-hmm. When my daughter was younger, she had her softball family, and I would always tell her, "You better remember who you are." And she might, you are a black child out here. Yeah, you could be playing softball with. You better remember who you are.
Oh, I definitely remember. I ever told you about. I think it was a time I was traveling with the team. Most of the time I was the only black girl playing softball. I mean, so I remember we went to the store one time, and it was like 4 or 5 of us girls in the store, but I was the only black one, so I was the one being followed around. And I remember Miss Sherry came and went off on the lady because she noticed her following me, and she was like, yes, all of these are my daughter, she's my daughter too, and she's not doing nothing wrong. But that was the first time where I felt like different, like, because why are they only following me? Obviously because I'm black. And why would you want to make somebody feel like that? I'm predisposed to stealing because of my skin color? It's crazy.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Welcome to America. I'm glad you went through that. You never shared that with
Because
me.
I didn't, because just
Oh
like
man, that would have been a hand I fan
you're
with.
right. Yeah, you were
I
right all
tried to
along.
tell
Yeah.
you, yeah. And it wasn't to be mean. It was just so you know that, yeah, you could be around them all you want, but guess what? You are still the black girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you didn't feel like it. Because I mean, in my circle, it like race, nobody wasn't caring about that, but that's
because
not
you guys
America.
are young.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
you're young, so you're protected for a
yeah,
little
for
while.
a
But
little,
then
you step
when
out
this real
into
life starts,
America.
correct, things are gonna be a little bit different. So it works. I mean, what do you think is the solution? How do we fix
Well, like
this
you said,
racial
it
tension
would
that
have
we
to
have?
be some
Seriously mind training,
yes,
rewiring,
because that goes way back,
Mhm.
way back. But I mean, we just need to love on each other more. We are all living on the same earth, working towards the same goal, trying to provide for our family, make a living. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand where this great divide comes from. We're all working towards the same thing.
Yeah, that's what you would think, but
and you should be no different from what they say. If you put somebody under an X-ray or bones and stuff,
it's all the same.
We all
That's
the same.
right. We all bleed the same. We all hurt. We all feel
Skin
pain.
color.
We all cry. It's the same. It's just now things are just so thick and tense. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like seriously, America now is just so different, and I don't think we're gonna be able to come back from this. How divided that everybody is right now is very sad, very sad. And that's it. That's all I have. And I know justice is blind. We just have to pay attention to that because getting caught up in the judicial system is rough. Once you get caught up in that in prison, you already know prison is modern day slavery. especially here in Louisiana. So
The
you don't want to
South.
be a part of that at all.
Stay out of them jails.
Please.
All right.
That's
Well,
it. That's all I have.
I hope we got y'all talking. We want to know what y'all think about the state of race
In America.
in America. How do you feel about it? Do you think it's, definitely could be better? But let us know in the comments, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us. Love you guys, and we'll see you next week.